2012 Margaret Brent Award recipient Marcia Devins Greenberger. For those fortunate enough to know Marcia Devins Greenberger, they have ready access to a dedicated role model who never fails to inspire. While the legal rights gained by American women have steadily expanded over the years, there has not always been enough enforcement of those rights. Marcia has been fighting on this front for nearly 40 years. Raised in Philadelphia, Marcia's parents put a premium on education and instilled in their daughters the belief that their gender shouldn't restrict their ability to contribute and make a difference. Her father, however, did have hopes they would pursue his passion for mathematics. One of the most popular activities at her all-girls high school was to be a cheerleader for the nearby boys' school. Already shrugging off expectations, Marcia pursued neither the pom-poms nor the slide rule. She went on to study history, then law, at the University of Pennsylvania. One of only 12 women graduates in her Penn Law School class, she met her future husband Michael and graduated cum laude in 1970. After finding very few opportunities available in public interest, Marcia took a job in tax law at the D.C. firm of Kaplan and Drysdale. These beginning years of private practice were critically formative because Marcia saw the huge potential for law as an engine for reform. In 1972, she left to pursue her growing interest in women's rights at the Center for Law and Social Policy, one of the first public policy law firms started in 1969. Originally tasked with researching programs and cases to verify there would be enough work to occupy her full-time position, Marcia quickly documented how much needed to be done. She founded the Women's Rights Project at the Policy Center, and it quickly grew to 4 lawyers. By 1981, it became the independent National Women's Law Center. Notable for its landmark litigation and legislative efforts spanning education, employment, and issues of family economic security, healthcare, and reproductive rights, the NWLC now boasts an experienced staff of over 60. Marcia's first significant work in a case against General Electric helped lead to the breakthrough Pregnancy Discrimination Act, which prohibits employment discrimination based on pregnancy and protects women's job security and disability coverage when pregnant. And her long-standing battle against sex discrimination in schools under Title IX of the Education Amendments Act of 1972 holds a particularly close personal connection. With 2 daughters who were both 3-sport varsity athletes, the potential improvement promised in Title IX would not only affect them, but also be life-transforming for generations of women. But with so many challenges to equality coming from nearly every setting, Marcia's leadership at the NWLC has been critical. From her crucial support in the nomination and confirmation of Supreme Court Justices Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor, to ongoing development of the Center's Leadership 35 and student internship programs. Expanding her sphere of influence, she helped found the Women's Appointment Project. Since the mid-1970s, it has fought for a greater number of women lawyers to hold key positions in high-level government institutions. Also, the Women's Law and Public Policy Fellowship Program, which she helped institute, has provided 1-year fellowships to law school graduates to focus on the work of women's legal issues in Washington, D.C. organizations. A glance at her resume will show Marcia Greenberger's name listed in magazines and publications as a heroine or champion, and there are numerous honors and awards. But her true acclaim can be seen in the multitude of women she has mentored, taught, and guided in the profession. While it is evident that the basic problems first addressed in 1972 are not solved, the dimensions and complexities of the issues are far better understood. Small victories are part of a larger strategy. Law reform techniques are honed into tools to secure change. With these tools, Marcia has shown that it is possible to turn the promise of equality into reality. For all of the ways, both personal and professional, that she has contributed to expanding opportunities for all women, the American Bar Association Commission on Women in the Profession is proud to present the 2012 Margaret Brent Women Lawyers of Achievement Award to Marcia Devins Greenberger.
Thank you. 45 years ago, hard to believe, I told 2 of my best college friends that I decided to go to graduate school. They set me straight. You're going to law school with us, we'll fight for justice, and we'll have fun. Talk about what friends are for. My legal career has given me more joy and satisfaction than I could ever have imagined. First of all, as you've heard, there in my first year section was Michael Greenberger. We forged quite a bond over the trauma of first year exams. He became my husband and life partner for 43 years, my greatest source of support in my work and in the joy of raising our two daughters, our pride and joys, Sarah and Ann, who are with us, along with their extraordinary husbands, our two son-in-laws, Matt and Phil. And talk about pure joy. Our grandson, Toby, who can tell you he is 3 years old, and our 3-month-old granddaughter, Eden, who, with any luck, you may not hear from at lunch today. My 97-year-old mother could not make this trip this time, but she is waiting for a full report, and we'll all give it to her in great detail. I would never have believed when I graduated from law school that there would be 3 brilliant women on the Supreme Court at one time, and that a woman in Alabama named Lilly Ledbetter, who fought for equal pay, would, through an African-American president, urged on by a brilliant spouse whom he met when a summer associate in her law firm, in Chicago, of course, that he would make signing a bill in Lilly Ledbetter's name his first order of business. Or that Title IX or that Title IX would have powered half of the U.S. Olympic team this summer. So many in this room have helped bring about these changes. I have worked with, learned from, admired so many of you. It's thrilling to be a part of this fantastic group of Brent Award winners, and of course, those who came before us. Indeed, there is much to celebrate, but there is no denying that these are troubling times, and that the programs we have fought so hard to secure, that in fact they are far from secure. The poverty rate for women is the highest since 1994. Since the recovery began, women have regained only 27% of the jobs they lost, mostly because of losses due to the public sector. Women are 2/3 of those earning the minimum wage, and that minimum wage has not increased since 2007. The wage gap for women, 77 cents on the dollar, even worse for women of color. At the same time, the framework of laws and constitutional protections we fought so hard to build, though still incomplete, are under more severe attack than I have honestly seen over the last 40 years. Just this past week, a bill passed the House that, while purportedly based on the principle that no one's taxes should go up, actually, and this is not well publicized, would raise taxes for low and middle income families eligible for the child tax credit. Some influential legal advisors, even joined publicly by a member of the Supreme Court, have recently stepped up criticism of the landmark Supreme Court win secured by now Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg in the 70s, which extended 14th Amendment's promise of equal protection to women. And even access to contraception has become a source of controversy. We have our work cut out for us, and I am so proud to be part of the Center and our allies, to have worked for decades with our co-president, Nancy Duff Campbell, and our board chair since the very beginning, a Margaret Brent Award winner herself, Brooksley born. Our spectacular staff of 60 now, and our board are part of a fabric of legal advocacy organizations and bar associations in this effort, and I have to send special thanks to the Women's Bar of the District of Columbia, not only for nominating me for this award, but being such a wonderful partner over so many years. Every day, I'm gratified by something that we all together have accomplished, and I just want to tell you one story about a Florida woman named Chris Turner who had been brutally raped. When she applied for health insurance, every company turned her down on the grounds that because of it, she now had a pre-existing condition, i.e. the rape. We helped Chris tell her story during the consideration of the Affordable Care Act, and when the Supreme Court upheld the decision, she sent us flowers and a note thanking us for giving her a voice. She called us her heroes. But of course, Chris Turner was the hero. She could have been silent, she chose to speak out. And that is true for all of you who speak up and use your skills to seek justice and equality. Some influential people think that we will just be quiet. They don't know this group. They don't know the power that you represent. And so I want to close by urging you to continue. We've never needed you more in the pro bono cases you handle, the research you do, the public and behind the scenes advocacy that you provide. As my friends knew so many years ago, a law degree can not only open doors to a wonderful career and matchless colleagues and friends, and sometimes even a spouse, but literally, it gives us a license to seek justice for those who need us most. What a privilege, what an honor. Thank you so very much.